Hey everybody, welcome. I'm going to wait a minute till I see that I'm really live and then we'll get started. So thank you for joining me today. I have something really exciting to show you today, I think. I had so much fun doing this yesterday, and I think if you give it a try, you're going to love it as well. So let's just wait for a few minutes to make sure I'm live. So I can tell by looking at my iPad whether it comes up live or not. And it's about a 40-second delay maybe. So I'm kind of talking to myself, not sure if you guys are there yet or not. So, and this is when everybody says, hey, introduce yourselves, say hey, let us know where you're calling or coming from, that kind of stuff. Aha, we are live. I see it now. Perfect. Yay. Okay, so let me see who's all here already. Chow, hey Chow, and Deanna, Rosemary, yay, you made it. Nancy, hey Nancy. All right. Nancy says she caught a notification of it being live before it was over. So I'm just going to wait a minute here, have a couple more sips of my coffee, and then I'll get started. I have something that I think is really fun today. Nancy, it might not be up your alley since you're not a glitter girl like I am, but I love me some glitter. So I've learned a new way to do glitter. And actually, let me tell you, yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, I watched a lady on YouTube and she says, I'm going to show you a brand new thing, how to do this brand new thing. And I thought, wow, I've never seen that brand new thing before. That's really cool. And then I went and investigated it. And you know, that brand new thing was done even 10 years ago. There's YouTube videos showing how to do it. So, you know, there's really nothing that much new under the sun. We just revamp it a little bit or just bring it back around. So a lot of times when people say, hey, that was her idea and she stole it, you know, well, chances are it was done 10 years ago by somebody else. So we're all just here having fun, sharing. So let's not get in a tiz over it. Anyway, let me have one more sip and then I'm ready to go. So this fun thing today that I've got to do to show you doesn't involve that many materials that you'll need, and they're certainly not very expensive. The thing that I did use was this image right here, and I'll have a link to it below, and I think Nightbot will stick one in the live for you as well if you want to get it. It works perfectly for this project, and if you're using Cricut Design Space, this works perfectly there too, and I'll show you at the very end, assuming I don't forget. But if I was using Cricut Design Space, of course, I would make sure that I do check the SVG here because I do want to get that file in addition to the studio file when I do buy it. Remember, everything's on sale right now at the Silhouette store, so it's a perfect time to stock up on some things that you may be wanting to use. So let's look down here at my desk in just a sec. And I'll show you the stuff that we need. Of course, I have my notes as always, just in case I get in a panic and forget what I'm doing. So the most important thing that you're going to need, oh no, where did I put it? I had everything all stacked up perfectly. Okay, hang on one sec, you guys. It's right here. Okay, you need glitter, and you need, oh, here it is. I forgot. I put it on the edge of my desk so I wouldn't lose it. Packing tape. This stuff right here, I think like 2 inches is a really nice width. If you can't get it at 2 inches, you know, 3 inches works, something like that. 1 inch would even work depending on how big of a, oh no, I did, that's why I had that hooked to my desk. I didn't want to lose the end. But anyway, 1 inch would even work if you're not doing a very large image. So I'll hook that back on my desk. Throw this piece away so as not to confuse me. So anyway, the packing tape is the most important thing today. You also need glitter, any glitter at all. This was from Silhouette. Actually, I thought I got this from Auntie Tay. Auntie Tay has some that's just like this. I thought this was hers. I must have some more over there. Anyway, if you go to Auntie Tay's website and use Patty Ann, my name, you can get a 10% off on hers. But this actually is from Silhouette, so I have several different kinds. And it really doesn't matter which kind you use. Yeah. You guys are absolutely going to love this. Those of you who are saying you're excited about it. Let's see. So let's see, what else do we need? We need cardstock, obviously. Everybody always asks, what cardstock do I use? And I just use the stuff that I can get from Staples. I don't remember the weight, although I could probably, yep, it says it's 65-pound weight for my card base. Okay, I also used wrapping paper from the Dollar Tree, and you can't really see because this is really a teal color. Doesn't look teal at all to you guys, I'm sure, but it's really a pretty teal color. And I use this, and it's optional. It's from the Dollar Tree. And what else? A printer, that's optional if you want to print out your sentiments. And that's pretty much it. So, and I showed you the image that I'm using. It's this one right here, and it's image number 106765 from the Silhouette store. But again, I'll have that link down below, and Nightbot will probably also pop in with the link. So let's go up to my design, or my silhouette. Now you can do the exact same thing in Cricut Design Space. I'm just doing it in Silhouette just because. And if you have Silhouette Business Edition and you want to save this for your Cricut, that works as well. Yeah, it does look royal blue, doesn't it? Okay, so the first thing that surprised me about this card is this. When I brought this card in that I purchased and I ungroup it, I right click and ungroup, okay, and I click on just this card base. I don't know if you can notice, but right here it says it's 10 inches by 5 inches. And I'm like, what the what already? Because if you recall, I probably already messed it up. We can't probably, oh yeah, here we go. It says it's a 5 by 7 card. That is not a 5 by 7 card. So I'm going to go back to Design Space again. Or not Design Space, to Silhouette. Notice this card says it's 10 inches wide by 5 inches tall. So when I fold this thing in half, it's going to be a 5 by 5 card. And you guys probably know already that I always, oh, you can't see my screen. Shucks, son of a gun. Here I go again. All right, so, oh yeah, you can. Okay, here's my screen. I'm sorry, you're seeing it. All right, so you can see the size of it. But you guys know that I like to make my cards actually the A2 size card. I always make them that size because it's so convenient for me, because I just go to Staples and get this box of 100 envelopes, and then I'm ready to go for all of my cards. These are called the invitation size. Maybe you can read that. I don't know. Again, my green screen's playing with it, so you probably can't read it well. Oh, and it's backwards for y'all as well, isn't it? I think that's because I use the front-facing camera on my phone. I'm not sure. We'll figure that out someday. But anyway, here's the thing. I want to make my card an A2 size card. So I'm going to move all this jazz over to the side. And actually, I could just get rid of the score line by clicking on it and deleting it. And hopefully this is all grouped, and move it over there. There we go. So I'm just going to draw out my own A2 size card. And hopefully you remember to have an A2 size card, the whole card would be 5. Well, I'll just make the half of the card that we need for our purposes. So our card is going to, the back of our card is going to be, I need to change the sizes up here. It's going to be 4.25 wide by 5.5 high. Okay, so that's what the front of my card will look like. So I can turn that card white if I want to, or I'll make it a gray color. That's the very front of my card. So I'm going to be putting this stuff on top of that, but not yet. Because if you remember what I said, well, let's look down here again. Here's the front of my card, and I want it to open like this. Oh, and I didn't show you my finished product yet. This is what we're making today. And I wish you could really see this in person. I challenge you guys to make this because it is so beautiful. You're not going to believe it. It doesn't look as pretty in this picture, but if you were to see this in real life, you were going to love, love, love it. I promise. Anyway, so I'm going to make my card so it opens like this. So that means that this side right here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 inches wide by 4.25 inches tall. So if we go back up here to my picture on my screen, I am going to want to rotate this. So if I hold down my shift key and grab this little green handle, I can twirl this around like this, and notice it kind of bumps in increments like that. And now it's really perfect, just like that. So that's what I want this is, imagine the outside of my card, and it opens up. But as I said to you, I'm going to use also, if we look down here, my first layer inside is going to be my Dollar Tree really pretty teal, even though it doesn't look teal to you, paper. And it's shiny, and it matches this perfectly. Dollar Tree stuff, y'all go there and get some of this pretty paper. So this piece right here, I'm going to make it 1/4 of an inch smaller. So in other words, this piece is 5.5 inches wide. So I'm going to make this 5 1/4 inches wide. And we could actually probably Nancy's templates, but I'll just go ahead and draw one now. And bring this one in here, pretend like that's my teal one. And it is going to be 1/4 of an inch smaller, which means it's 1/8 of an inch smaller on both sides. So this one's going to measure, if it did measure 5.5, remember this did measure 5.5, I'm going to take 1/4 of an inch off of that. So it's going to be, whoopsie, 5.25, 25 wide, and hit enter. And it was let's look and check, 4.25. And if we want to take 1/4 of an inch off of that, we'll subtract 0.25, and that will make it, for the height, 4 inches. Okay, so you can see how, oh, and I have, you know what, look at that. Nancy, I think I still have snap to grid on here from what we did the other day. You see it snapping all over the place? I'm going to turn that off. So I'm going to come up here to the, you guys aren't seeing that, are you? Going to come up here, got it. Sorry, you guys. Going to come up here to the very right-hand side, and, the page setup, and I'm going to change that to take off my snap to grid. See how the snap to grid is on here? And every time I move this, it kind of snaps to my grid. You know what's funny, you guys? When you tell me you can't see my screen, by the time I see it on the chat, it's like a 20 or 30-second delay, and I've already kind of figured it out most of the time, but keep telling me if I do it again. So I'm going to turn off the snap to grid. That'd be sure one advantage to having somebody right here working with me like so many people do. Anyway, so this is the second piece, and this is my pattern paper from the Dollar Tree. And now I want one more piece that's going to be 1/4 of an inch smaller than this. So what I actually could do is just take this piece and come over here to the right hand side and go to the offset panel and do an internal offset of 1/4 of an inch. 0. Wait a minute. Nope, I want to leave it at that. So it's going to be a total of 1/4 of an inch on both sides. So apply. And then what I'm going to do is take this one, leave him there, and this guy here, it's going to end up 3.75 and 5. I'm going to change him to white just so we can get an idea of what we're doing. So that's what I'm going to have. This is going to be my outer card, the grayish color back here. The fold is going to be right up here at the top. I'm going to be able to open it up, and this will be on the front, obviously. All right, so this is the piece we need to work with now. Let's bring this over. All right, so I'm going to bring back over my design that I was going to use before, and it's all hooked together. So the first thing that I need to do is just grab everything and right-click and say, I guess some of it is ungrouped. This piece is not ungrouped. See if I can ungroup it. Okay, when I grab all this and right-click and try to ungroup, you'll notice that's not an option for me. So what I'm going to have to do is just release the compound path. So I can right-click and do that, or I can come up here to Object and release compound path. And as you guys know, that makes boxes around all this stuff right here, right? I'm going to click off, and then I'm just going to click on the square and bring it over here. And before I mess with any more of this, I am going to go ahead and group it again. So I'm going to put a box around all of it, right click and group. Then I'm going to move it over here and whoops, I'm going to right click on this and say send to the back. And now I can bring this over. Obviously that's not going to fit on there. So I'm going to have to click on it and make it smaller. And then when I make it smaller, I'm not crazy about what's going on because I have all this blank space over here. So I'm going to fix that. And I'm going to fix a little something else too. So what I'm going to do first, I'll just move this out of the way for now. And I'm going to ungroup this again. And the first thing I do is I think I'll just grab this little guy here. And if I'm not able to grab all of him, see I grabbed a little bit of this one right here and I don't want that. So I can just do as much as I can. And if I think I can't get that final dot up there, I can hold down my shift key and grab it. There we go. And now I have everything there. And now I can just hit Control D on my keyboard, Control D for duplicate. And I have another one. And I can just move this one over here. And I can bring this back and see, well, how am I liking that? Okay, that's looking pretty good. I actually kind of like that just fine. So, but I think I'll move it up just a tiny little bit though. And the reason why is I'm going to put my sentiment right here. I just remembered. So let's move the box back out of the way. Let's grab this guy. I'm going to group him. And I'm going to move him up a little bit. The lasso. Yeah, I could for some reason, Nancy, I never think to remember to use the lasso tool. You're right though, I should be using the lasso. Okay, there's that. And now I think I'll put a few extra little stars around. So again, I can grab on this guy, Control D for duplicate, and bring him up. And maybe Control D and duplicate again. And maybe bring him over here and, well, where do I want to put him? Maybe resize him even a little bit smaller. Could make him bigger or smaller, whatever. All right, let's bring this back over here. How's that looking? Okay, the one thing I like to be mindful of while I'm doing this is I need to remember what I'm going to be doing soon. And that is I'm going to be getting out my tape and trying to put tape around various areas and not having it bump into any other area. So like a square piece of tape, it might be a little hard right here. So what I could do if I wanted to, I'll go ahead and use the lasso. And I'm not very good at this lasso. That's probably why I don't use it. Lasso. See, I'm not sure I got that well. I don't think I did that right. What did I do wrong? Let's see, lasso. What did I do wrong? I lassoed it. Let me try just this little star. Whoops, I missed part of him. Okay, I got him. Let's see, Control Z. Try this one again. Maybe I didn't end it properly. I'm going to come back up to the lasso, which is the rope. Makes sense, right? I'm going to go ahead and draw a circle around this. And I should have zoomed in, and that's probably why it would be a little bit better. Do I need to make the ends match perfectly? Yeah, there we go. If they match perfectly, then I get it. Okay, so what was my point? Oh yeah, I wanted to move this away from this bow just a little bit so I can put my tape on there more easily. So I'm going to move that over that way a little bit like that. And then once I do that, it's like if you give a mouth a cookie, then I'm going to want to move this guy over just a little bit. And so I can just move him over like that. And what about this? Am I going to be able to put a square? Not very easily. So I think, again, I'll get that lasso tool again and lasso this guy. And notice if I come back and they match, boop, it automatically grabs it all. So, oh, no, I let go. Let me get it again. Lasso him again. And then hold down my mouse key and just drag him down like that. And that would be pretty easy then, I think. Okay, looks like that'll all fit pretty well. Might want to move this guy down just a hair. All right. And maybe, you know, you can play around with, whoopsie, you can play around with this as much as you like to. And Nancy, you probably are saying, make that box transparent because it's so much easier. But sometimes my brain has a hard time understanding that it's there if I can't actually see it. So sometimes I have to make it so it's got a color. Just a tiny little bit more. There we Okay, there's one other thing I decided to do when I did my first one. I thought some of these little pieces right here were really, really tiny and not necessary. So I scrolled right in here, made it big, and I just double clicked on this and I got rid of this thing because I thought, you know what? I don't think I really need that. So then the next thing I did then, and probably this is going to be in the way, just grabbed this and just moved it down closer to my ornament like that. Okay, the big one didn't bother me. I thought that one would cut okay, but these little tiny ones, it's up to you. You know, you like them, you don't, whatever. I don't like them, so I'm going to get rid of it. And again, can I do the lasso tool more easily? Oopsie. I can do the lasso tool probably more easily on top of my colored cardstock. There we go. Okay. And then I would just drag this. Nope, got my cardstock too. Oh, well, that's okay. All right, let's scroll out and see what we got going on. Okay, this one, I guess I'll get rid of this one over here too, this little guy. Looks like I need to ungroup. Nope. Release compound path. Okay, I'm not sure what I've done over here to this guy, so we're just going to ignore him for now. I don't know what I did over there. Or actually what I could do, you guys, is just delete him and then grab this guy like that. Control D to duplicate it and bring it over here, so then I have another one that's the same. There's always more than one way to skin a cat, right, Nancy? That's what she and I like to say. All right. Okay. So I'm pretty satisfied with that. So what I would do now, and there's several things I could do now. If I wanted to, I could be making my sentiment, which, as I say, I like to make sentiments and do a print and cut. So I might even, so looky here now, it's going to go over top of that. And so probably what I would have done and what I did do was I moved this up to the top more. But we're not going to worry about that right now. We don't want this to go on forever. But I could go ahead and move this big guy up towards the top more, and so my sentiment would fit here, and just rearrange these things nicely. And so to make my sentiment, I would just change this to white, and I would probably make it smaller. I'd probably offset it with black and then maybe with white again, and you'll see, I'll show you in my final one what I've done. So here's what I did do in mine, if you can see it. I made my sentiment with the white and black text, and then a black offset around it, and then another white offset. And I decided to just use that plain font rather than something snazzy because I didn't want to draw away from this stuff. I thought this was already so gorgeous and pretty and swirly. I didn't want to draw attention and make more swirly down here. So that's what I would do for my sentiment, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Whoopsie. Go back. Get rid of my sentiment only. Delete. Okay, so now the next thing I would do if I was doing this in, whoa, you need to be back here. Next thing I would do if I was back, so I was just doing this with my Cameo, so I would go to Send, and look at that, it's going to be perfect. I probably would have, before I went here, went ahead and grouped all this. Right click and group, and then I could move it over here like this, and go to Send. And obviously there's nothing that I need to print first, because all I want to have happen is for it to cut out this front piece for me and all these little pieces. And so on mine, I had to make mine to cover stock, and then I upped the speed a little bit just because it was on a speed of 1, and I thought I was going to keel over waiting for it, so I was able to, make it go a little faster than that. Now, if you were going to use this in Cricut Design Space, all you do is select it, go to File, Save As, Save to Hard Drive, and right here you change it to an SVG file. And I want to show you that I did do that, kinda. So here's Cricut Design Space, and I changed it to red just so you could see it more clearly. And actually, I did a little bit of doctoring on this. Let's see if I can go back to, okay, there we go. All right, so here it is. I have it in red just so you could see it more clearly. And I was looking over here wondering what in the world are all these cut lines over here? Because here's the rectangle and here is this piece. Well, as it turns out, all those cut lines are the cuts for the score line. So what I decided to do was just get rid of that score line. We don't need this thing. Just delete it, right? So now all we're left with are the two pieces that we need. The other thing I need to do in Cricut Design Space is to make sure that I've sized it the size I want it to be. So I would put both of these on top of each other. And if I knew this square, the biggest one was supposed to be 10, I could just drag both things out. See, they're both selected here. Drag them both out so this outermost card measures 10 if I want it to be the whole card, which I really do so that the inner part is the correct size. Anyway, but that's something you would have to play with. But as you can see, it works perfectly. This is the piece that we really need, and it would cut out exactly what we need in Cricut Design Space. So back over here in Silhouette, I've actually already cut these things out because I figured you guys probably don't really want to sit around while I cut these. So I'm going to show you. Here's the finished. This is my card. I have one around here that's just cut. Okay, here's one, and it's just got the pieces all cut out of it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I need to get out wax paper. That's something else you need. Some people say to use Teflon sheet or silicone sheet. I found wax paper works really well, and you can throw it away when you're done, especially since you're going to be glittering on it. So the first thing that I did on mine, and if you look at this one right here, I'm going to make it just like this one, is I made all of the bulbs this pinky color. So what that meant was I had to come over here and get my tape. Oopsie. And cut a piece of tape to cover each one of those little squares, these things, individually. So that's why I wanted them separate a little bit. I don't want to cover the bow part. I just want to cover the ball like that. Okay, and it doesn't matter if it goes off onto the wax paper, that's fine. Do another one just like that. Make sure it doesn't cover anything else. You just want it to cover the bulb. I don't want it to cover any of that star. The star is going to be a different color. So I'm going to cut that little edge off if my scissors will work for me. There we go. Make sure I don't get anything but the bulb. All right, so I would do that on all of these pieces. And I've actually already done it on this one, so I can show you the next step. So on this piece right here, I have this packing tape on all parts of the bulb. It's on the back side. So the sticky part is on this side, okay? So the sticky side, that's why you want to do it on wax paper or something like that, because it really doesn't stick down to what you don't want to stick to. So I turn it over then, now the sticky part is up. And now is when it turns beautiful. Then you get out your glitter, whatever colors you like, and I'm going to use the same colors I used before, because I like them. All right, so I'm going to do pink first. And I meant to bring a brush in here, darn, and I forgot to bring it. Oh well. So all you do is just go ahead and put the glitter on here. And I've heard people use chunky glitter. Doesn't matter what kind of glitter. Just any kind of glitter. Just kind of shake it around on there. And Nancy, you're probably keeling over because I know you don't like glitter. I'll tell you what though, you guys. I did have glitter all over me yesterday. Luckily, I like it though. And then you can just spread it around like this just to kind of pat it into that tape. Okay. I promise, if you guys try this, you're going to be so surprised at how beautiful it is. I thought, I don't know about this. I'll try it. But it is fabulously gorgeous. So right now, I'd probably be using a brush or a Kleenex, or I guess some people say use a Swiffer. I don't have a Swiffer. I think I have a Kleenex, though. Oh, yep, there they are. Okay. So then you just do like that. And so the only place that the glitter goes is right where you had your tape. And it looks kind of weirdly shiny. I noticed that when the lady was showing her video, and I thought, I don't know, I think I can see that tape. You really can't. That's just what it looks like in this video. In real life, all you see is beautiful, shiny glitter. It's so pretty. All right, so then, oopsie, getting glitter all over me on something else. All right, so then, of course, all you do with this is bring it back together like this. And then put the excess back in your little container. I don't know, there's so much glitter in this container. Sometimes I think I'm totally a nut, you know, I'm trying to like save every little piece of glitter. It's like, come on, quit. Quit already. It's not gold. All right, so throw that piece away. Put this on here. And then, like I said, I've heard a lot of people say they like to use a Swiffer to get this picked up. I just kind of like brush it off, and then it's all over my clothes. And I'm sparkly. Sparkly. All right, so now I'm going to do the next color. Get out another piece of wax paper, and I'll do the gold for the bows next. So I'm going to have to turn this over, get out my tape. Oh, okay. So you won't be wearing glitter for New Year's then, I guess, huh? No sparklies. I want to make something very glittery for New Year's Eve. I don't know why. I think it's the older I get, the more I like glitter. Okay, now I noticed that a little bit of I must have had a little bit of tape coming over into my area here where my bow is, and I don't want it there. So I'm going to move it out of the way and put this here. Okay. I think that I like it better. I don't know, maybe your eyes get worse the older you get. So I'm like, glitter. I never liked it when I was a kid, really. I mean, I wouldn't have been caught dead wearing glitter when I was in high school or junior high school. Are you kidding me? Oh. Well, a little part of my bow didn't get pumped out, but that's okay. So, put this on here. So I don't care if it overlaps the other tape that I have on here. I just don't want it to overlap any of the stars because I don't want them to be gold. All I'm doing right now is the gold. So I'm just cutting pieces. I'm trying to cut them as wide as I need them to be. Perfect. Uh-oh, but it went over the star. So again, I got to cut this piece off here. Don't want it to go over the star. And I noticed it's going over the star just a teeny weeny bit over here. But not bad. But this is just, I'm telling you, if you guys try this is the cheapest, most bang for your buck, and easy, fun card to make. Like I said, the lady I saw the other day, she says, I'm going to teach you something new. And then when I started looking on the internet, I thought, well, you know what? I see a video from 10 years ago where someone did the same thing. Is the glitter area totally opaque? It lets a little shine through. But I was wondering about having it on a window, if that would be neat. Yeah, I was wondering that myself, Nancy. I don't know. Because it looks really pretty and sparkly on the front, but I don't know if that sparkle would shine through. You know, if you need to see the light hitting the sparkles, the reflection, for you to see glitter. I don't know. But that's something I was thinking of trying because I thought this would be really pretty on some of those lanterns and things that we make. Wouldn't that be gorgeous if it worked? Tammy, you've made some of those really pretty lanterns. I think it'd be really pretty. So all I'm doing is cutting off the tape that overlap the edges. I think I got all 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 4 places. So now I'm ready with my gold. Here it is. Again, just do this. Okay. And then I've seen everybody just kind of mush it around, so monkey see, monkey do. That would be me. Seemed to work for them, and so I'm doing it as well. It works very well. And somebody was even pushing theirs down like this. It's amazing though, you know, I did cards a long time ago, but I never did see this technique, even though it was, like I said, somebody was doing it 10 years ago. All right, And as I said, maybe, yeah, there's a link. Oh, that's right. Look how pretty. Oh, I wish you could see this in real life. I'll have to make them. Y'all have glitter? Does everybody have glitter? And my glitter that I have is really, really fine. Yeah, reflected light. Yeah, see, that's what I was afraid of. Yep. For the glitter. All right, there we go. Get rid of that. Okay, last one is the little stars. So these, I can get a slew of them over here at one time, looks like. Oh dear, I almost forgot my wax paper. Yikes. Hold on. So I'm just using this cut right cheap wax paper. Anybody's mom used to make their school lunches using this? I got my peanut butter and jelly sandwich wrapped every day in this stuff, which I love the peanut butter and jelly. Oh yeah, it's going to do these 3 at one time. There we go. Yeah, Tammy, you are going to really like this. It's really pretty. Really pretty. Okay, that got a couple more stars to do. 2 more. 1, 2. And now I don't have to be as careful because if I run over something else, it already has glitter on it. So, not to worry. Okay, pat that down a little bit. Make sure. Oh, I missed one. I can feel it. There's nothing there. Okay. Your mama used it too? Yeah. I think a lot of other people probably had school lunches. We didn't till I was in junior high school. We had to take our lunch every day and get that crappy milk they gave us. It was always like warm, and I swear it was icky. I mean, like, yuck. I don't know, it just didn't taste good. If y'all are younger than me, then you probably had real lunches for your lunch. Okay, so this goes here. Get this tape off my scissors. And I can get rid of this tape. I have to fold in just a corner to make it a little bit easier to find later. Okay, so now I'm ready for the pretty blue. I love this color. I hope I got tape on all. Let me look and see if I can tell. Looks like I did. If I did, not to worry, I could just go back and redo the part I missed. Okay. Is Barbara here? She was wondering how I got the, oh yeah, hey Barbara, I see you now. Oh, I see you. Yeah, you know why it said that? Because I forgot to change it to Eastern time to begin with. Then I changed it so your reminder was probably from the first time I put it up there. I don't know why they always put the California up there. But every time I tell Tammy we're going to do something, I never tell her. I say such and such a time. And she's like, oh, okay, well, that's this, and such and such a time, my time zone. And I'm like, yeah, I forget the world doesn't revolve around me and my time zone. It's just, you forget that other people live in other time zones. At least I do. Okay, that is gorgeous. So Barbara, so you're here, so you missed it, but you know what? You'll see it playback, and it's so easy to do. All I did was use packing tape. Here's the remainders of some of my packing tape. And I put it behind these pieces, color by color, and then just put this loose glitter into the sticky part of the packing tape, patted it down, and that was it. Okay. So now that is done. Looks like I did something over here. What did I do? I cut that crooked over there somehow. I don't know. Anyway. So I can brush this off more like this. You can actually put a little bit of pressure on it. It's not going to rub the stuff off very easily anyway, because I haven't found that it did. So the next thing that I would do then is I would put it onto my paper that's really teal colored. Believe it or not, it's the same color as these stars are, which maybe they look dark blue to you too. I don't know. I'm going to put this on here next. So get out my handy dandy little tape guy, and it does tape really well even on top of the packing tape. It sticks fine. Okay. So now I'm going to try to put this on here. If I was smart, I'd tape this down just a little bit to keep it in place. Wouldn't I? Oh, I just remembered something. I think I made this blue piece a little bit bigger than I needed anyway, so I could trim it if I needed to. And now I'm noticing I don't have as big a margin down here as I do here. So, see if I can do this. And if y'all could see my area, since I can't hobble around that well to put stuff away, I had my blade right here. Where did it go? Well, anyway. So anyway, what I would do then is I would just take my X-Acto knife and cut this nicely like that. And I'll just try to do it with my scissors, which is probably going to be a big mistake. Alright, that's pretty good. Okay, so there's that. And then here was the front of my card. So then I would just put this right on here, like that. And Barbara, what I used for that was some wrapping paper that I got from the Dollar Tree. The tealy colored paper behind this. And then I was even thinking, you guys, even popping up something like this guy right here, depending on where I had him, you know, putting a little extra guy on there, maybe not this fellow, but something on here would be kind of cute, wouldn't it, if it matched color-wise? Just a little extra something. But of course, what I did do on mine was I went ahead and dotted up my sentiment. And then actually inside, I went ahead and printed this part right here. And then I put my sentiment in here. And again, put it on some of the paper from the Dollar Tree. And after I printed this, I realized I was a little bit too heavy with this text. If I was making this again and this was just my sample one, I'd probably make that a little bit less intense. But anyway, so I think it turned out really cute. I wish you guys could see it in person because they're beautiful. Yeah, it does recess it just a little bit. It's really, really pretty. So does anybody have any questions? Sure. Let's see. Let me look back just to make sure. Oh no, you can shop. I think Rosemary asked us Auntie Tay is only for subscribers. No, you can go to her website and shop if you're interested. Okay, let's see. Thanks, Tammy. Okay, if you would, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up because then YouTube does something with it and more people will be able to see it. Thanks, Deanna. I hope that you guys can make it. Do y'all have glitter at home? And even just, I wonder if you just tried it with Scotch tape just so you could see what it looks like. It might not be as good because maybe it's not quite as clear as packing tape is. I'm not sure. But anyway, they turn out beautifully. And just do a search in YouTube and you'll see all kind of things that they make like this. But I just thought that this particular configuration or whatever, this pattern here, looked really, really pretty with this. And just nice and clean and beautiful. So, Thanks, Nancy. Okay, isn't it sticky on top even though there's glitter on it? Nope, not a bit. Not a bit sticky. Nada. And actually the glitter's not even coming off on my hand or anything. I mean, I rubbed it in and then I just, you know, dabbed it off and it's there. Anything else? Okay, I guess that's about it then. Don't forget to check out the links below the video when it goes. Oh yeah, glitter snowman. That would be super cute. Definitely. Cinderella, she's got glitter. Anyway. Double-sided adhesive tape. Well, I don't know, child, that might work. I don't know why not. It might be a mess to play with on the, I don't know. Probably would work. Give it a try and let us know. Okay, I haven't seen anything like that. So this is pretty much what I've seen. Let's see if I was wondering if I had any kind of sentiment over here, but these are the, oh wait, I got one. It's like Merry Christmas. I could put that one on there. You remember how when I have extra space, I always just make sure to do some extra. That'd be maybe pretty up there. Maybe not on there. There's that from our family to yours. Let's see if I have anything else over here. Hi, sunshine. Anyway, guess that's about it. Again, they cut the shape out of the tape and apply it to the top. Oh, okay. Huh. I'll have to look that up. It's just double-sided tape with glitter. See, I think I should have moved that guy up. See that? You can see that now. If I wanted to put this just like the other one, I should have moved him up. Oh well, anyway, let's see. And again, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell, and think about joining our Patreon classes over at patreon.com/PattyAnn. We have lots of fun on Saturdays. You're welcome, child. Thank you for coming. This design that I did right here, it is from, show you. I think I'll show you. Whoops. It's from the Silhouette Design Store. Here it is now. This was it right here. And I'll have a link for it down below in case you're interested. It's design number 106765. And don't forget, all the files over there are on sale for 50% off right now. So if you're thinking about getting it, go ahead and do it. I'd get the SVG too, Barbara, since you're using a Cricut. And I did show earlier that it will go right over into Cricut, and we can use it there. The only odd thing when you get over into Cricut, when you save it as an SVG, is this. You get, when it comes in, all these cut things. See them over here in the layers panel? And I was like, what in the world are all of those cuts? Because here's this rectangle, and here is this cutout. So what it was this cut score line. And whoopsie, so I could just get rid of that score line, just delete it out of there. And then all we're left with are the two pieces that we want. The only thing, like I said, is you'll want to resize this. And if you feel like you need a score line, you can put one back in here and center it. Lots of times I don't think I need one if it's just folding something in half. I just fold it in half. So, yes. Okay, see you guys again soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.